Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
It's like $1 a parts and a wire crimper.
Jesus, we must have give you a discount then.
No,
Shit,
I don't even know what it was.
I'll make sure that bill goes away.
Are
you serious?
Yeah, it's like $2.
No,
it's like $2.
It's
It's like $1 in parts and a crimping tool. I kid you not.
Bob Carr here with another episode of the Bob Carr Show. In the studio today, who dropped in to say hello is Mr. Scott. Scott, welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Thanks for having me here.
So what brings you in? What would you like to talk about, Scott? I got a laundry list of things. Come on.
There's lots of things we could always talk about, but today we're going to talk about the flag program and how it got started in Crofton.
Take it away.
Well, let's say mid-'80s is when my dad started the program with the Crofton Kiwanis. I got roped into helping him, as any good son would do at that time. He started the program with the Kiwanis. It just started to be a couple flags around the parkway, and then it in turn to be all the light poles around the parkway. We would put them up in the spring, take them down in the fall, and during the winter time there would be maintenance on the flag. Then we'd start over for the next year.
Who worked on all this maintenance during the winter? You did?
Partially me, but mostly Dad at that time when we first started.
I thought he might delegate it all to you.
Not yet. It didn't get all delegated to me till later on.
I gotcha. So your dad was working full time then, correct?
Just about there. He's around that age. Around that time he retired, so he had some free time to start doing it more frequently, doing all the maintenance and things like that over the winter time.
So he used to tell me a lot of funny stories about people calling the house different times of the day and night about a flag that was down or problem, or
they knew they could call the house, and if there was a flag ripped, torn, or destroyed, or broken, the pole was broken, they could call the house and leave a message, and we would end up replacing it within a couple days.
But your dad told me a colorful story about a lady that called late one night. I don't know if you heard that story, but basically I'm called for it. He used some other words I can't repeat. We went back out the next day and took care of it, and then he went to that lady's door and told her a little bit piece of his mind.
That would be him.
That would be your dad.
Yep, that would be Dad. Grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Run a farm out there. We still have that farm, but he worked as odd jobs back and forth, and in the early 40s or so, he entered into the Army.
Wait a minute. I got to interrupt you here, and I won't be really rude. But let's talk a little bit about what he did in World War II.
Okay, yes. My dad was in World War II. He was in the 82nd Airborne. As he tells his stories, yes, he jumped in Normandy and things like that. He jumped out of a plane. I've seen some of the planes that he would have jumped out of. I don't know if I would even ride in one of those based on what I know about modern technology today.
Right.
So it's got to be pretty scary for those guys to, one, fly in those planes, let alone jump out of them, daytime or nighttime.
Yeah. I remember the first time I ever met your dad was at a Kiwanis meeting, and I was like, who in the world is this guy? He seems like he hates everybody. And then more and more I worked with your dad, got to know your dad. He had a huge heart and would help anybody that would help themselves.
If you asked him for help, he would find you the help if he couldn't do it. It would be as simple as, hey, I need this or that. He would find the person, coordinate everything, and then he would help work either with the person and the person asking for help, just so that person would be helped. He had a heart of gold.
The family's got to be proud of that plaque that's up there.
Yeah, there's a plaque on the parkway dedicated to him. It was well deserved. It's truly meaning to him because of the flags and who he was and how he helped the Kiwanis and how he'd help anybody. So that's meaningful. I mean, I see it every day when I leave the house, and it's nice.
Good reminder. How's your mom doing nowadays?
Mom is good. She's in her early 90s. Lives around the corner here, and still gets around during the daytime on her own.
And I wanted to thank you too. Your boys have helped raise some money and done some behind-the-scenes work with the flag program. So yeah, it's good to see them coming out behind Grandpa.
Yeah, they like to help the best they can, but it's like everybody else. Everybody's so busy right now.
Sure. They've come over here before.
Yeah, they've come over to help.
Drop some checks off, and we give them to the association to put it in their bank account. So it's always good to see that.
It's always, if you can help anybody, either through a community or a business or an organization, even if it's just for a little bit, it's great. It's just nice to help them.
Sure.
With the flag program, when we started doing that, it's kind of funny. I see how Bob and TLC does it with their couple crews and go out in bucket trucks. That would be an all-day process for me. Dad would get everything loaded up in boxes. We started with a car. I'd walk up to the parkway with a ladder.
No kidding.
I'd walk to the park with the ladder. Oh yeah. Then I would go around the parkway.
Carrying a ladder?
Carrying a ladder.
Oh, wow.
Then we eventually got a pickup truck. Kind of worked a little bit better because then I could at least hop on the back of the pickup truck. And
this is all volunteer?
All volunteer. The flag program is good. I'm glad the Kiwanis will keep going forward with it.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with it.
Yeah.
John Maloney.
John Maloney's a great guy. I'm glad he's picked up and just gets the stuff going. And He just kind of organizes it.
He does all behind the scenes, which needs to be done, and all the order the materials.
Yeah, and it's not hard.
guy.
It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
You know, when you need to order, I need to order 50 flags. It's not like I can just go
Yep.
to the local store and order 50 flags.
Yeah, he's over here a couple times a year, make sure everything's good, and orders everything. Keeps us straight so when we're ready to go out and put them up, and when we take them down, he comes over, takes the inventory. It's a good combination.
Perfect.
So, we appreciate you coming in today,
Sure.
Scott.
Not a problem.
This wrapped up another episode of the Bob Carr Show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll talk to you next week on the next episode of the Bob Carr Show.